Hello, hi there, good morning. It's Princess Leia calling from Star Wars. I just wanted to quickly unravel these curls before we get started because my friend Lurik did my hair last night. Look how pretty. She put product in, she like wrapped it, right? It's still completely wet. Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at these curls. That's so nice. I'm so happy. My hair smells and feels like I've been to the hairdresser. Like full on, completely healthy. I don't know if you can really tell, but it feels so much healthier because Lurik, she has a hair oil that I can only recommend, and she put it in the top and she put it in my scalp and it feels really, really good. And it's like with tea tree and peppermint oil and jojoba and is that how you say it? And other things, and it smells so good. And she conditioned my hair for me as well, which was really, really nice. And yeah, obviously with a diffuser it would have been a lot better, but I don't have a diffuser. But it's really nice and my hair just feels a lot healthier. It looks healthy, right? Wow, that's what healthy hair looks like, guys. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're just gonna chat a little bit. What's the day? It's Friday. It's Friday and I'm going to make the most of this grey day and talk to you guys a little bit about how my first year of business went down, because now I'm officially technically 1 year into building my business and a lot of things have happened and it doesn't really feel like I've gotten very far because other things happened. However, I do want to just share like how it is opening a business, being self-employed in Germany, a few different things I've learned. So we're gonna just chat today. I'm gonna just talk to you guys. I'm gonna go and make some coffee and then we'll see how this vlog looks. Wow, it's really grey outside today, but it's a good day to make some videos. I finished up my job in the photo studio in August last year, and then I started my business in 2021 in September. And the first step was actually signing up for my business. So in Germany, you have to apply to become self-employed. Like you have to make sure that you're registered as a self-employed person and that your business is registered. And there are different kinds of registrations, like if you have a small business or you have some employees, there's different rules. So this is the first leg of the journey. It's Monday the 16th of August and I need to apply for my business so that I can start working in September as a freelancer. I thought I'd get ahead of the game and not do it in September because I want to just be ready for September. One of my friends who is a freelancer said that I can apply as a Kleinunternehmen, which is a small business, and I don't have to go into the whole big business thing right now. Gonna try and apply online because I really don't want to make a phone call and I really don't want to go to the office, to the finance office to get it sorted out. I'd rather do it online. So we're gonna do that. Let's have a look. It says here, in 5 minutes you can apply. I like the sound of that. So there's a difference between a Kleingewerbe and a normal Gewerbe. So Gewerbe is a normal business, Kleingewerbe is a small business. And the Kleingewerbe, small business, is a business that, I'm reading it in German right now obviously, they just have different kinds of rules, and a small business can earn up to, kann man sagen, dass Kleingewerbe solche Unternehmen sind, die die Kleinunternehmerregelung des Umsatzsteuergesetzes nutzen, beziehungsweise deren Jahresgewinn im laufenden Jahr nicht höher als 50.000 Euro sind. So it has to be, you can't make more than 50,000 euros profit a year. Inhaber einer Einzelfirma ist ein Einzelunternehmer, gründet eine einzelne natürliche Person als Landwirt, Gewerbebetreibender oder Freiberufler, die voll haftet. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff to know about in German bureaucracy and German like business stuff. You have like 5 different types of businesses, and I'm just trying to figure out which one I need. And now we do the important thing. We pay 24.90 € one time for the application. This is good because this is the step that is going to take me into the right direction, and it's going to just move me forward, I guess. There are a lot of things right now where I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's all learning by doing, right? And we have to take one step at a time, but it's just, it's just crazy. Okay. So, I'm gonna get an email. Die Behörde bearbeitet deinen Antrag. Erfahrungsgemäß liegt die Bearbeitung zwischen 7 und 21 Werktagen. It's good that I did it now because it takes 7 to 21 days for the thing to be like processed. Die Bestätigung erhältst du in der Regel per Post. Okay, I'll get it in the post. Once I get everything in the post and they've said yes and everything is fine and everything's wonderful, then I can begin with my small business. Wow, okay. Crazy. It's just a bit like scary, I guess, because I need to figure out how I'm going to do my health insurance, my renter's insurance. Not renter's insurance, it's called Rentenversicherung, which is not renter's insurance, it's pension, like, yeah, my pension. I need to find a tax consultant of my own. I need to find an app that can help me with, like, bookkeeping. I need to figure out if I need insurance on the business, and I also want to find some contract templates for each job that I do. And then there's like a few things here that I don't even know what this German means. Like I cannot translate it, but it's just a lot of stuff, and there's been a lot of stuff in my head, and I'm like, okay. And it's scary and everything, but do you know what? I just have to go one step at a time. And when I go one step at a time, then it's all gonna be fine. But I did it. I just did the application. Yay! So that's one step in the right direction. So currently I'm still a Kleinunternehmer, which is like a small business that doesn't have to write out tax on the invoices. Does that make sense? And that is basically kind of step number 1. And then you have to pretty much wait a few weeks. I think I waited like 3 or 4 weeks until they sent me back the letter saying that my business is now registered, and that was pretty much the first step. So this is a plant light, but it works as a ring light too. It doesn't work as a ring light. Nope. Story time. I worked in the photo studio for 2 years, and that time was really, really helpful for me because I was learning a lot about portrait photography and studios, and kind of also learning about sales and how to like I don't know, sell your business, how to use Instagram and TikTok for these things. Actually, TikTok I did not learn through that business, through that job. I taught myself a lot of social media because I still am their social media manager, and that was really, really helpful to have that job. Then at some point I was like, I need out of this studio, so I decided to quit and just go for it with my business. I actually didn't have a lot of money saved, so I actually didn't have a lot of money saved to, like, you know, get equipment and stuff like that. So then I was pretty much already reliant on getting jobs, and like sometimes you have to do a lot of self-marketing in order to even get the job at first, right? So that was something that I kind of wish I'd done differently, was like not jumping into something when you're not 100% ready, because I was really sure that I wanted to do this and I was like, I can do it. But I didn't have any training in like how to actually get clients, right? So I was pretty much mostly reliant on my friends and family booking me, which worked really, really well for the beginning. So last year, around September, I know this was just favor from God, because I really didn't have a lot of income coming in, and I felt like God is just providing for me every time. I had, my mind's gone blank. So I shot a few of my friends' different weddings, and then I had like other people coming to me asking to do this and that. And then a friend of mine, she was also doing product photography at the time, and she needed my help to basically do some product shoots while she was on tour with her band. So that was also really, really cool. Like, I got to do some product photography, like really high level stuff. I'm actually gonna insert some here because it looked really cool, and it's like, if I have to do product photography, now my portfolio is absolutely amazing. So yeah, I basically did lots of different things. I'm sorry about the light, guys, like it keeps flickering. What's going on here? Is that my shadow? What is happening? Anyway, I need a new ring light. This one is kind of breaking. Yeah, that was kind of just God's favor. Like, some would call it luck, but I believe it was God's favor over my life, over my business, that I was able to just continue doing some really awesome projects. And then in December, like around about November, December, my family and I, my cousins and my auntie and I, we released a Christmas album. I obviously didn't take the photos because I was in the album, so I had to be in the album artwork. So that was a friend of my cousin's who did the photos. And then I basically completely designed the whole album cover, which I will also show here. That was also a completely new thing for me. I'd done Photoshop, I'd done graphic design, but really, like, oh my goodness, doing a whole CD album cover and then sending it to print, and then constantly having small little things that needed changing that I didn't know how to change because I'd never done this before. I'd never sent something to print before. I didn't let it throw me off, but there was so many obstacles, and I remember that it was a very small amount of my life was sleep, and then the rest of the time I was literally on my laptop the whole time. So I was simultaneously doing the product photos for like 8 hours a day for some of these shoots that also they had to be done really fast as well to get them out. Also doing this album cover and having a deadline and another deadline, and oh, maybe we can push this deadline, and it was like stress. So that was a very crazy time in my life, and then everything happened that I actually then started going out with my boyfriend. So like, there was so much going on in winter last year, but I was incredibly blessed to have those jobs, and I got good money for it, and I was able then to also buy a few more things, a few more bits of equipment, stuff like that. So then another thing that I really struggled with was taxes. So I cannot say it enough, like, I haven't even found a tax consultant yet, but I need to get one because taxes are so confusing, and I cannot give you any tax advice because I am not a legal person. I don't know anything about legal, I don't know anything about tax, but as a photographer, it's really important that you have someone who can just look over your taxes and tell you what you need to do. So I basically bluffed my way. I mean, I didn't bluff my way, like, I have German skills, so I speak German, so I managed to do my taxes myself last year, but it wasn't easy. Here in this video you can see me struggling with the taxes for a long time. A lot of wine was drunk because it was so hard. and I was texting some of my friends who like have had jobs in tax agencies before, and I was just so confused. So one thing that I'm definitely going to make sure I do is get a tax consultant who can look over everything once a year. And when you're in Germany, like, you have to make sure that you get the deadline for tax returns and stuff, but I think that's normal of every business. Obviously right now, because I'm not doing the whole 19% VAT, I can't get that back. So if I buy something like a camera, for example, I, would, if I'm giving the 19% VAT on my invoices, if I'm asking for that, then I can later on, get a tax return on the different things that I buy as well. I think that's how it works. See, I'm telling you, I don't really know about taxes. Bruh, go and get yourself someone who knows what they're doing, because I am the wrong person to ask, and I still need to go and get someone who can help me. But I did open up an account with LexOffice, which is really, really helpful to keep all your invoices, all your clients, all your contracts and different things in one place. And actually it makes the life of the tax consultant who you later on would book easier, because then they can just log in and they can look at everything, and then they can do that, and it's kind of easier and cheaper for you as well, and it's less work for them. So all in all, LexOffice would be something that I definitely recommend. I kind of haven't even touched, any kind of the tip of the iceberg yet. No, what's it called? Like, I'm only at the tip of the iceberg. Like, I haven't really touched base with any of the stuff that is possible in there, but I know that a lot is possible. Which brings me on to my next point, which is that obviously you have to learn how to write invoices. It's not that hard, and at first I was like, oh my gosh, it's so crazy writing invoices. Oh my goodness, it's big deal, which it's not. You just have to write an invoice for the thing that you have offered the person. So whether that's photos, or whether that's social media management, or graphic design, whatever it is, I would always write my invoices myself. I found a template online, and I kind of used that and looked at other people on YouTube and tried to just figure out how my invoices should look. I looked at my auntie's invoices, I looked at different photographers' invoices, and I kind of found my own and added my logo, and you have to add your tax insurance number and everything. And then I did that, but then the organization started getting quite crazy, because I kept naming them with different names and giving them different numbers and giving them saving them in different places. So I really don't know where half of my invoices are. They're either on one hard drive or on my laptop or something. So that was not very good. So that's why I'm really, really happy with LexOffice as well, because I actually opened that account and saw that you can create invoices and it will save them all for you. It's all in the system. If you want, you can download them all to your computer, and then they're all, different numbers, in chronological order. And so now I've started doing that, which means all my past clients, I could also upload the invoices, which I haven't done yet. And then, give them different numbers or something. But right now I've started from scratch in that sense this year, a few months ago, with new invoice numbers, new names of invoices, and it's super easy. Now it's 2 clicks, because all I have to do is type in the address, type in the name of the client, and then the rest stays the same, and then type in the amount and type in, the thing that I did for them. And then also it's really cool because you can put on the bottom, you can put not just your bank details, but also your PayPal or something if you want to add that. So that's really cool. So people have a really easy way of paying you, which everyone wants an easy way to pay someone. So I found that out a few months ago. So I definitely recommend checking out LexOffice. And it's a very complex program. So I found a YouTube video, I'll link it below. It is in German, but maybe you can watch it and learn some things if you speak German. It was like a mini crash course. I don't just immediately because for me, when I start a new program, I want to immediately know how it works. And sometimes they make it so complicated that you don't know how it works straight away. And so I found this video on YouTube, and the guy was like, here you can do this, here you can do that, here you can do invoices, here you can do that, here you can add your bank details. This is what you do, X, Y, Z, and it was perfect. So I really enjoyed that video, and I'll try and find it and put it in the link below, in the description below. Then we hit January, February, I realized that jobs were not coming in. I had a wedding lined up. The next one was in May, which was my friends who got married, and they booked me as their photographer. But unfortunately, I didn't really have any jobs lined up for January through March, or actually May, right? So I was thinking, it's really tricky. I, wasn't getting enough jobs in, unfortunately. But I just want to encourage you while I'm here, like, it's okay, sometimes these things happen. And, I was like telling myself, man, I really don't want to get another job. I really don't want to get a job. I really don't want to get a job. And at the end of the day, I was like, you know what, a job is a privilege. A job would be good to have. I'd be able to pay my bills. I'd be able to pay my insurance because, side note, you have to pay your own insurance when you're self-employed in Berlin, in Germany. That one really threw me under the bus, I won't lie. Like, that one, I was like, why is insurance so expensive? Obviously, it's not nearly as expensive as if you live in the US or anywhere else for that matter. So I'm still very, very blessed to have cheap insurance in that sense. But like, when you're employed, when you're in a job, they pay it for you. So that was quite a shock. So I was like, you know what, maybe I'll try and find a job that's like 20 hours, maybe 30, rather have 20, and then, see what I can find that can pay my rent, that can pay my bills, that can pay my insurance, my health insurance. So I went looking for jobs for a long time. I think I was looking for jobs until, I must have been looking until February or March. And then I actually found the job at Got Photo, where, a few videos ago I talked about how I just lost that job, but it was an absolute blessing to have that. At the end of the day, like, the first time that I had been offered that job was in February, and then another job offer came in, and then I thought that would be better because it was more in the photography field, and then it was a small business, and the guy said, actually, I can't take you on now. So I then went back to Got Photo. It was like March or April, and I said, do you guys, is the position still open? And he was like, yeah, it's still open. So I was like, okay, I'd like to give it a shot. And then I got that job, and I started that job in May. So I was definitely like, kind of, beating against a current for a few months, trying to like get jobs here and there. It was fine, like I was okay, but I wasn't thriving in finances, let's say. But that's the thing, these are things that people don't tell you. Like, it's the same as when I moved to Berlin. Like, nobody told me that, like, how much everything costs in terms of, obviously, like, Berlin's a cheap place to live, but nobody told me how much you need to know, how much you need to have. Like, you need to have this saved up, you need to get this, you need to pay rent. Like, I moved to Berlin with 140 euros in my bank account. Like, who does that? I don't even think I had a bank account. I think I just brought cash with me. Like, that was all the money I had. I've done a video about things I learned moving to Berlin. But, like, it's a similar thing where I'm thinking there are things that I wish I'd known, definitely. 100% things I wish I'd known before starting my business. Like, I wish I'd saved up a good couple grand just for rent, but I wasn't able in my job at the photo studio to save because it just wasn't very well paid, and I had bills to pay and I had debt to pay and stuff like that. And so it was a constant cycle of not being able to save up money. So Got Photo was a real blessing because it was also not just commission based, but it was just a good pay. I was really happy with it, and I said in my other video, I think I did a good job for the time that I was there, and it was a complete blessing. I'm not mad. I think I left well, and we're all on good terms. So I'm incredibly, if anyone from Got Photo ever watches this, I'm really thankful for that job. Because it managed to get me to be able to buy more equipment, save up some money for rent, which now is helpful. That is something that you should always do, and it's something that I obviously am still aiming towards, but I feel like so many people live from paycheck to paycheck, myself included, for years. But actually having like a 6-month buffer saved up for rent and for bills and for insurance is like a godsend. You need to do that. So that's just another encouragement. I feel like this video is a little bit back and forth and me talking randomly, but I did say it was a chatty video, so here you go. This is what you signed up for. So yeah, obviously like Got Photo, then that was from May until now. Like a few weeks ago, and during that time I was working 30 hours, so I really didn't have a lot of time for my business. So it's kind of wow. So it's kind of weird thinking like, oh yeah, like I've had my business open for a whole year, because it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like I had my business open for a whole year, because I was doing so much other stuff and working all the time, and I was so tired. So I did have a couple of shoots here and there, and I was building up my portfolio. So last autumn I built up my portfolio with some autumn shots. Then I did some in March with some good friends. We went to Nikolai together, and then I built up my portfolio with a few more weddings this year. And this year I was so blessed. Like, I think for me, considering I had a full-time job as well, being able to do, I think I did 4 weddings in total this year, was a real godsend. So I did my friends in May, then I had another one at the end of July, then I had one, I had 4 weddings, then I had one that came in really last minute in September, at the beginning of September, as a second shooter, and then also had another wedding at the end of September. So considering those months was so filled with work, having 4 weddings was actually really cool. Sometimes I don't want to tell everybody how many weddings I shot, because it's like feeling like, oh, it's not that many, like, cute, you did 4 weddings, like that's nothing. But at the end of the day, I had a almost full-time job, and these weddings were the ones that I got. So like, I mustn't be sad about it or upset about it or embarrassed that I only did 4, because this is the first year of my business. So I've now officially shot 5 weddings, and I've already got the first one lined up for next year as well. So I'm getting there, you know. I feel like this is what I want to do on this channel, is be incredibly transparent. In business, it's really important to do more than you're talking. So like, don't always be like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and look, I'm doing this, and I'm working towards this and I'm working towards this, when actually it's better to just shut your mouth and do it, and then show the world what you've got. But at the same time, I also want to tell you guys the reality of what I'm doing. It hasn't been easy. It's not all rainbows and unicorns, and I haven't had a surplus of finances, because also, like, this is what happens when you start a business during a pandemic, right? People's weddings get pushed forward, people aren't getting married, or just different things happen, there's less budget. But at the end of the day, I know that I'm called to do this job, and I know that I'm gonna do it well. And right behind me here, I have a vision board, like a wall of abundance, things that I want to see happen in my life, and I'm going to speak them into existence. And you know, it says up there that I'm going to have over 30 weddings a year, so one day I will. You know, Bill Gates said a lot of people overestimate what they can do in 1 year, and they completely underestimate what they can do in 10 years. So who knows what will be in 10 years, but this is definitely like a few things that happened in like the last year of business for sure, and it's been a crazy year. One thing I also want to say is like, to find your niche and stick to it. Obviously, maybe in the first year of business, you're not going to know what your niche is, but one thing I've noticed through doing a business course, and like also as a sales rep looking at photographers' websites for 6 months when I was working there, I would always look at all these websites of these photographers, and it was always so hard to see what they offer, because there was so much going on. And obviously it's great if you do portraits and weddings and seniors and couples and babies and newborns and maternity and animals and dogs and horses, right? But at the end of the day, if you need to find a niche. This is something that I really like. I really want to niche down, and then find a niche within my niche, right? Because even if you're a wedding photographer, there's destination wedding photographers, there's analog wedding photographers, there's with cinematic, dramatic shots, and then there's more like documentary style. There's so many different styles. And so obviously, like in the first year of business, I'm still developing my niche within my niche, but having a niche is so important. And like for me, obviously, yes, I do still do maternity portraits occasionally, different things, right? But I don't really do that anymore. And so I'm focusing on couples and weddings and engagements. And then even that is quite a big niche. And I think so for me, what I'm gonna do is like, if I ever feel like, oh yeah, I really wanna do maternity as well now, or newborn at some point, or maybe I wanna go into like corporate and take corporate headshots of people, I'm gonna go and get myself another website for that. Because it's so important to create like another branding, another name, another website, so that people who book you for corporate wouldn't go on your website and just see weddings. Do you know what I mean? Like, so that's something that I definitely want to think about for the future. Right now I'm niching down, and that is something that's really, really important, to just know what your niche is, to find it, and to really work hard at it, and obviously be passionate about your niche as well. Like, I wanted to be a wedding photographer for a long time. I completely forgot about it, and then my mum actually reminded me that I'd always wanted to be a wedding photographer. My mum was like talking to me last year, and I was saying, yeah, I think I'm finally gonna be a wedding photographer. And then I said to her, didn't you say I should maybe one day try and be a wedding photographer? And she said, no, you said to me that you always wanted to be a wedding photographer. This is like 6-7 years ago. And I was like, really? I told you that I want to be a wedding photographer? She went, yeah, you want to move to Berlin and you want to be a wedding photographer. And I was like, what? So that was really funny to hear that actually that's been my dream for a long time, and I forgot about it for a while, and now I'm here. But I definitely know that I'm passionate about this, and I am here and I am doing it, and it's super scary. It's so scary, guys. I want to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm gonna do the business course that I got a few months ago, and I'm not gonna like tell you guys all about the course until it's done, because I just need to focus on it. Really excited to dive more into that, but for now I think that's it. One more thing, like with marketing, like I haven't mastered marketing at all, but I would just say get out there, network, talk to people. Go on Facebook sites in your area, find things that are like Facebook groups. I mean, in Germany, there's definitely a Facebook group called I Have a Wedding for You, different things like that. So go into Facebook, go onto Instagram, go find forums, go talk to people, put yourself out there. And this is why I'm also putting myself out there on YouTube, because I want to share my experience and I want to let people know that I'm a wedding photographer. That's ultimately what's going on here. Anyway, in a future video, I'm also going to talk about my very first wedding, because that's also like another thing where I had a crazy, hectic experience. It was so hectic. With things that didn't quite go well, and I'm amazed that I even managed to shoot that wedding with the lack of equipment that I had. So I'm going to share that story and just some tips on like how to, you know, be prepared for your first wedding. So don't forget to subscribe and like this video. It also really helps me. And thank you for watching to the end. If you watched to the end, comment down below. I listened to what Christina had to say. No, don't comment that. And sorry about all the hair flipping today, guys. It's not sitting like it usually sits. Don't forget to turn on notifications as well, because then you can see when my next video is actually going to go online, or has gone online, or is going... I need to stop talking. Turn on notifications, because then you'll see when I post another video. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to follow me on socials and let me know what else you want to see in the next